Have you had those expenses that really scare you? Like you don't know how you're going to fund them and you're wondering like, how can I be able to do this without even having to worry, without having the stress? Like for example, you know that you're supposed to be paying school fees for your kids and you're so scared, you don't know how to raise that money. Maybe you need to renew your car insurance, your medical insurance, you need money for your holiday, you need money maybe for your first installment for your mortgage. You really have those things, bills that are coming up, expenses that are coming up, and you're so scared, you don't know like, how will I be able to manage within the income levels that I have right now? And that person used to be me. I used to be worried before. I was wondering like, how can I be able to manage my life and prepare for these expenses that I already know that they are coming up? But now I don't have to worry about it because I discovered something very interesting called a sinking fund. I don't know if you have heard about a sinking fund. And I decided I'm not going to I'm not going to keep this secret anymore. I'm going to share it with you guys so that I can also make your life easy and you can now actually be able to enjoy the freedom of knowing that your bills are sorted, your future expenses are sorted, and you don't have to worry around that. So in this video, we're going to discuss about sinking fund, how it have helped me, how I'm using it, and how you can be able to adopt this to your financial freedom journey. Hi guys, welcome again to another episode of Financial Literacy. My name is Jane Dishu and I'm a financial advisor. So I want first to explain, or I want us to define what a sinking fund is. So a sinking fund is just a classy name that is given to savings and investments, or a savings account for your future expenses. Like for example, if you're planning for a future cost, or if you're planning for something that is coming up, an account where you put that amount of money, that's what we call a sinking fund. It's just a classy name that we use around that. So any amount of money that you're setting aside to prepare yourself financially for those bills or for those expenses that you know are coming up, that is what we call a sinking fund. Do not be worried, it's just a name. So I want to show you guys how I use my sinking fund, and I'm going to share an Excel sheet of how I'm able to manage my sinking fund. So currently I'm planning for 3 major expenses, and I'm going to show each of them how I'm using it, what is my target goal, and you can be able to borrow the same, whatever I'm going to use in this particular spreadsheet. So the first column here, I'm trying to say this is a savings fund for birthdays. So I basically, for myself, I don't really love the pressure, so I have a birthday fund. So this is like a gifting package. This is where like I prepare for all the gifts. I have like special people in my life. I know that their birthdays are coming up. I know there are special events in my life and I need to plan for that. So that's why I basically have that particular account. So as you see, I have the target amount of money for that account. So I basically give it a target and I decide like, this is the amount of money that I'll be putting aside every month. And if you can be able to see, there's an amount of money that I was able to carry forward from the previous year because I did not exhaust that gifting fund last year. So if I'm not, if my target, like for example, it's around 50,000 right now, if this 50,000 I don't exhaust it, maybe I did not gift to a maximum of 50,000, I carry it forward to the following year. So this helps me, at least by the time it doesn't just find me with that pressure. The second thing, I'm planning to saving up to start my to start a course. I need to do a certification in Strathmore University, and this is the amount of money that I require for that course. So I need like around 150,000. So basically, I started saving up for this. So this fund, this education fund, has been in progress from last year. It's not something that I'm doing right now. So the goal is to raise the 150,000, and I have been putting aside something that I can be able to manage, because this is something that I have done for over now 18 months, because I'll be taking the class in July. So it's so easy for me to save the 10,000 that I have indicated there. So it's something that I have been doing over and over again, and I'm not going to stop, because the certification might take me 2 courses of this, which might amount to 300,000. So once I'm able to save this amount of money, it will go to the next school fees, the excess amount of money. And then the last thing, I'm planning to take a trip to Dubai. This is something that I promised myself on my 30th birthday, that I want to go to Dubai. And because I'm not yet 30, so it's not this birthday, it's the next birthday next year. So I have been saving up for this amount of money. So I know I'll be needing like around 170,000 all inclusive, because it's a solo trip, and this is the amount of money that I have been saving per month. So I basically know that by the time I'll be turning that birthday, I'm financially prepared for that amount of money. And I have other accounts which goals that I had set and things that I wanted to achieve, I've been able to do them successfully. So this is not purely like my savings and investment fund. This is purely me planning and able to know. So I hope you have borrowed something. So you can maybe borrow shamelessly and copy paste the same, have a spreadsheet or have maybe a notebook where you write down your target amount of money, amount of savings that it's going to go to that particular account, and also have the particular amount of time that it is going to take you to actually achieve that goal. So you can copy that. You can have an Excel. It's easy for me to have an Excel because I'm always on my laptop. I can also be able to manage that on my phone on the go. So it's so easy for me. And then the other thing that I have really done, and it has really helped me, is to automate, because I'm going to discuss which account I'm using for this particular reason, because definitely you must have like an account where you're saving this amount of money. So you basically need just to have a tracker, you need to plan around it, and then you need to know the amount of money that you can be able to comfortably afford. This can be within your budget. This is something that should be within your budget so that you are equally prepared and you know how long it's going to take you for you to achieve this particular goal. So I hope, tell me on the comment section if this is something that you're going to plan around. The second thing is, where do I keep this amount of money? Where do I put my savings and investment account? So equally, I think I have ever mentioned that I use my money market fund to plan for my emergency fund and my sinking fund. So I definitely have one account, one money market fund, where I already know this amount of money goes to my emergency fund and the remaining amount of money is going to my sinking fund. This is the reason why I chose a money market fund, guys, because you see, like for particular, I'm going to pick out like one goal. For example, I have been planning to go back to school for the longest, like it's been almost 18 months. It's not something that I've started saving right now. It's something that I started saving for last year but one actually. So if I was putting this amount of money somewhere that I'm not earning an interest, my money will actually lose value because of inflation. So I use a money market fund to just make sure that this amount of money is actually earning me an interest, so that kind of interest that it is earning, it's actually competing with the rates of maybe that particular thing that I want to do. So for example, maybe when I was sourcing for that course, it was not actually 150,000, it was around 125,000, but because of economic changes, now it's around 150,000. So if I was saving that amount of money somewhere else where the money is just seated, it's not earning me an interest, definitely by the time I'm going to be paying, I'm going to find that I don't have that extra amount of money. But now that because I'm using an account where I'm getting an interest, that interest is going to help me with the inflation. And if the prices have changed for that particular thing that I want to get, it's going to be so easy for me to adjust because I already have a way, and this amount of money have been making more money for me in form of interest. Some few other people prefer to use bank accounts. Some few other people prefer to use their circles. Some few other people prefer to use even these money savings applications. But I definitely recommend a money market fund. And if you can get a money market fund where you can be able to get an interest rate over and above the inflation or double the inflation, better for you. It's going to save you a lot of money. And inflation being estimated at 3.3% right now, it's definitely something that is going, if you get like something above 6%, it's an advantage for you. If you do more than even 6%, more advantage for you because you're getting value for your money and your money is competitive in inflation and the market rates. The third thing is how I have been able to remain consistent in my sinking fund. So one of the things, you need to set something that is very realistic. Don't put just an amount of money that you cannot be able to actually achieve. I'm going to give an example. Some people actually plan their sinking fund around maybe a saving challenge, like for example, a 52-week challenge. This is something that we have even done with my clients most of the time. So if I find a client telling me, Jane, by the end of this year, I want to have like 500,000, which is going to help help me in this and this particular sinking fund, maybe your child's education and such things. And then maybe the amount of money that you're saving from week 1 is not the same amount of money that you'll be saving at week 52. And remember, the income levels are the same. So most of the time you find these people fall out because by the time they are getting to the 6th month, they are supposed to be maybe saving 60,000 or 50,000 per month. This person is earning 100,000. Their bills is constantly the same. So when they are starting, it's easy for them, but when they are finishing, it's not easy for them. So one of the tip is to make sure that you choose an amount of money that you can comfortably afford to go to your sinking fund. If you cannot be able to afford it right now, you can choose a better package or a cheaper package for the same goal. I'm going to give you an example. Let's give an example of maybe a vacation. If you're planning a vacation fund or a holiday fund, if maybe you cannot be able to start maybe with accumulating 150,000 for you to go to Dubai, you can start with actually 30,000 to go to Mombasa, which is easy. Like you can just start within your means, something that can be able to be done. Don't copy paste with someone else's goals. Don't be over ambitious. I'm not saying that you guys should not dream, but I'm saying do not be over ambitious. So let the amount of money that you set to go to your sinking fund be equivalent to your budget and something that you can be able to remain consistent or plan within. The second thing you need to also understand is to automate these savings. I know it is very hard to save. I have said, as a financial advisor in my 7 years of experience, one thing that I have learned about saving, it's a very, very, very hard trading thing. It's very hard. It's a habit that you really struggle to attain. And this is why most of us don't have those savings. So for you to remain consistent, make sure that you assume that you're living without this amount of money. The same way the government is just deducting your tax from the source, make sure that is the same way that you're going to be deducted your savings amount to go to your sinking fund. Set those direct debits, set the check off, set the standing order. Let that amount of money just come directly from your income to go to your savings account. Use different accounts also for savings so that you can be able to differentiate your current account and also your savings account. The other thing, track on your progress. Do not just sit there and say, I'm saving. Always track on your progress. Always go and look, like, if I'm planning to go to Dubai, have the rates increased? Do I need to adjust around the same? If you're planning on something, just know, like, to plan within the progress. If your income levels change, it's time you increase on your sinking fund because it brings these particular expenses or goals closer to you. So make sure also to adjust on the same so that it is so easy and you remain motivated on how to achieve these particular goals. And the third thing, for you to stay motivated, you have to relate to those particular expenses. And if it's something that you just created, there are some expenses that you already know that they are coming up. Like if you have a child, you know they are going to go to school. So that is something that you're going to plan around. If you have a car, you already know that you're going to pay for that insurance premium. If you already have a medical insurance, you already know that I'm supposed to renew my medical insurance. So you need to plan around that. But things like maybe vacation, things like maybe buying new tires for your car, or things that you don't have to do, a house makeover, maybe things like a wardrobe change, such things you might find in most cases, you might fall out because it's not something that you're relating directly. So how you set on your sinking fund, make sure that it's something that you can relate to, make sure that it's something that excites you to get there. And at the end of the day, I always say, have a reward system, know how excited, see yourself at the end of that particular thing that you want to achieve or goal you want to achieve. It makes you more motivated. The last thing that I want us to discuss is how do I set a sinking fund for myself. So guys, I have shown you how I set my sinking fund, and I want to give you 3 simple steps of how you're going to set your sinking fund. So the first thing you need to do is to identify these future expenses that you're planning for. If it's child fund, if it's child education fund, if it's your own education fund, if it's a vacation fund, if it's medical insurance fund, if it's maybe just premium fund and such things, wardrobe change fund, a house makeover fund, you need to identify those things and then you list them. Then identify an amount of money that you can comfortably be able to deduct or be able to put aside to those particular things that you want to achieve from your budget. So at this particular point, you already know that we need a budget, and I have done a whole YouTube video discussing on how you can be able to set successively a budget that can work for you. Budgeting is not a hard thing to do. It's something that that you need to actually learn and relate, and that's it. So an amount of money to go to your sinking fund every month, if you earn every month. If it's daily, if you earn weekly, quarterly. Contract people the same way. So identify an amount of money that is going to go to that particular point. And then the last thing that you need to do is identify the time period. How long or when do you want to have this thing? So for example, if your child is 1 month today, you need to know, like, are they going to go to school maybe when they are 4 years? So you already know that you have like around 3 years of planning, or 3 years, around 23 months of planning. You already know if you're planning maybe for them to go to high school or university, the time period that you have, and then you can work your budget around that, and then it's so easy for you to actually achieve that particular thing. So you need to have a need. You cannot just be sitting there planning for a vacation for 10 years. That cannot make sense. You need to have like a realistic time frame and something that is timely, so that you stay motivated and you already know, like, at what particular point are we going to know that we have already achieved this particular goal. And guys, in case you would want to work with a financial advisor around your sinking fund, just to oversee whatever is going around, just to decide maybe on an amount of money that you can comfortably be able to chunk from your budget, and even to plan on your budget, make sure to follow me on my Instagram page, book a session there, and then we can be able to book a consultation session where we discuss all things. And because I know you have learned something, let me know in the comment section if this is something that you're going to adopt for your sinking fund, so that you can be able to achieve your financial freedom. And it is so easy to deal with the things that are upcoming. And guys, until next time, thank you for watching.